Kia ora, Helen Bromsey coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1680, Tahiti and Antarctica. Oh my gosh. So I apologize for being on late. If you caught my live on Facebook, you would have seen that we had a little bit of problem with just a little bit of weather. We had a thunderstorm come through that brought hail. And we actually, if you go and look on my Facebook page, you'll see the live there because the hail was actually coming in the sliding door. And we've got a covered patio, which is about 8 to 10 feet deep under cover. And so the hail was coming in and hitting the doors and the windows in the patio area. And it was kind of spectacular. But Zeffie was like whining at me. She wanted to go for her walk. And my phone was sitting here and all these little weather warnings kept coming up. You know, thunderstorms 30 miles away, thunderstorms 15 miles away, thunderstorms 5 miles. And when I got to the 5 mile one, which was just as I was finishing work, I was like, yeah, we ain't going for a walk just yet. So when it hit, I said, and Zeffie just didn't understand that. And so when it hit, I went and opened up the front door for her. And I thought, that sounds really weird out there. And I couldn't see much because we've got that kind of screen door on the thing. And so I said, let's go have a look out the back. And look out the back. We're doing a live on this. So, and then on that live, I said, I've got no idea what I was talking about tonight. And then when I was out walking, I was like, hang on, you just attended 2 different training sessions today. Why don't you talk about those? So one was for Tahiti and one was for Antarctica, but they were for 2 different cruise lines. So we had, we had Paul Gauguin with the first one. That's the Tahitian Islands and the Society Islands, and then we had Atlas, which specializes in polar expeditions to the Arctic and the Antarctic, or Antarctica. So Antarctica and the Arctic, and so they were very fast, and they were back to back. Like I had a client meeting at 10 o'clock, at 11 o'clock I was on for Tahiti, and at 12 o'clock I was on for 12 o'clock while trying to have lunch. Learning about Antarctica and the Arctic, and then at 1 o'clock I was working for the next 4 hours. So it's been a very busy day today, very action-packed and everything else. So what did I learn? Well, these 2 cruises these 2 cruise lines are very different, but at the same time they've got some similarities. They're very small. They're very small. So the Paul Gauguin, I always mess this one up. I'm going to get my hand slapped for this one. Paul Gauguin cruises, they have 330 guests on board. The Atlas has less than 200. And on the one for Tahiti, we've got 209 crew members. So you're talking just over about 540 people on board for that. But both cruise lines are all inclusive. The one for Tahiti, you've got all shipboard meals are included with your choice of venues. So even their specialty restaurants and different theme restaurants and things are all included. You get complimentary 24-hour room service, complimentary beverages, including select wines, spirits, beers, soft drinks, bottled water, hot beverages are served throughout the ship. And you have an in-room refrigerator, which is replenished daily with soft drinks, beer, and bottled water. All onboard entertainment, including their troupe of Polynesian performers and live music in the evenings. That would be really cool. Presentations on board by experts and select sailings feature guest hosts. And this was one of the things that they were talking about today on the live, was about some of the guests they got coming up. And I've now just got to quickly go and find, because I downloaded the guest list, the speaker guest list, and oh my gosh, some of the speakers that are coming up next year are going to be really, really cool. Come on, where did I put it? There it is. 2024 speaker voyages. I think that's the one. Is that the one? Yeah. That one. Might be that one. Hang on. One's by guest name and one's by come on, open it up. And one's by schedule. Yeah, we'll do the other one. So they got to talk about, so you get to do all this great entertainment that they've got coming on board, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. They've got onboard gratuities for room stewards, dining and bar staff is all included. They have the back of the ship has a marina there where they've got water sports, including complimentary kayaking, paddleboarding, or from their marina or destination beaches. So there's some beaches they will go to and they will take the equipment to the beach for you, so you can then use it from the beach. They also have complimentary snorkel gear for use throughout the cruise. They've got a secluded white sand beach in Bora Bora, which is subject to availability and, well, you know, a little thing. And a day on the private islet of Motomahana, which is off the coast of Taha, featuring snorkeling, water sports, barbecue, full bar service, and Polynesian hospitality on select voyages, and complimentary Wi-Fi throughout the ship. And they said last year they upgraded their Wi-Fi, and the person doing the presentation today said that she was actually able to get on camera and for a couple of office meetings, so like a Zoom or something, she was able to get on there and had no issues with the connections whatsoever. So all of that's included for Tahiti. But coming up in the 2024 to 2025, they've got these speakers coming up and all doing all sorts of different things. They've got I've got 3 pages of them sitting here, but they're all from different walks of life. You've got Tom and Michelle Becker, who are music. They're on April 6th and 13th of this year. The first one's doing Tahiti and the Society Islands. The other one's doing Cook Islands and the Society Islands. So they get around a little bit. The singer-songwriters with award-winning vocals, 8-time performers at the Jimmy Buffett National Convention in Key West. And they had this is just very brief. They went through a lot of the other people that they have performed with as well. You got Tammy Gibson. She is going to be on the same cruise, the April 13th one, and she's a professional dancer and fitness instructor. And if I remember correctly, she is the one who used to be a rockette as well. So she has that background there, and she focuses on Pilates, gyrotonic. I have no idea what gyrotonic is, and yoga. Then you have Dr. Sarah Rothman, who is also going to be on the April 13th. The April 13th one is an 11-night cruise. And she is a board licensed naturopath, a fellow of the Board of Oriental Reproductive Medicine, specializing in thyroid disease. Also on that same sailing, you've got, so this is all April 13th. You've got Nakai Lutz, who is an integrated wellness coach and spa manager. Then we go to April 24th, where we've got Tom O'Neill, who's a motivational speaker. He's a best-selling international author, award-winning motivational speaker. He has written 4 books, including his top-selling personal development guide called The 1% Principle. They've got on May 4th, another health and wellness one is going to be 25 certified with, this is Carol Burringer, who is certified with 25 years of professional working experience in Pilates, yoga, functional movement, neuroplasticity, and body rolling. Jed Davenport. Now, this will be a really cool one. June 29th, they are doing the More Society Islands in Tahiti at 7 nights. And then on April 15th, they're doing another one, which is Crossing Melanesia for Australia and Fiji for 16 nights. And Jed Davenport is a National Geographic explorer, photographer, writer, and filmmaker with travel to more than 160 countries, including the most remote coastlines and islands, a decade spent as a freelance war photographer and documentary filmmaker in more than a dozen conflicts, and a volunteer forensic investigator with NecroSearch International. Now, I would love to go listen to him speak. Maybe even learn some photography stuff along the way too. They've got Mark Eddowes, who is a cultural and anthropology. He's an archaeologist and researcher specializing in the field of Polynesian anthropology and National Geographic expert in the archaeology of French Polynesia and the Cook Islands. Now, that would be really cool. He's got August 3rd for 14 nights, August 24th for 14 nights, and then December 21st for 14 nights. So that's going to be, that'll be really interesting. Let's see. Kim McDonald is one of Hawaii and South Pacific's premier artists on a 10-night. Chef Tom Wong. Tongue ties today. My tongue's not working well today. December 11th, he is going to be a certified executive chef and Culinary Arts Institute of America professor, and has been profiled on the Discovery Channel's Great Chefs of Hawaii. Has appeared on the Food Network's Cooking Across America and CNN's On the Menu, Weekend Today, and more. Then on December 11th, same cruise, you also have Charlie Plummer, who is a certified sommelier and certified specialist in wine. So you've got the food and wine pairing thing going on. So if you're into food, a really good food and wine, that would be an awesome one to go on. Like the ones coming up in April that are going to be really good for health and wellness and some good music. Professor John Hay, January 4th of next year and January 19th, the 14 night followed by a 20 night. He's got the Nobel Peace Prize winner with 40 years of experience in academia and the private sector and governmental organizations with the focus on tourism and climate change, consultant and advisor to multiple national and international governments, including the United Nations. How cool would that be to listen to? Helen Henry, she is on those same two cruises. Born and raised in New Zealand, married to the son of the first Prime Minister of the Cook Islands at a young age. She spent the last 50 years in Rarotonga. I have to say, I love Rarotonga. I had the best 3 days there. Now retired from her tourism business, her love of writing, memoirs, and books reflect her love for the South Pacific. I'd love to go talk with her. We'd have Helen and Helen talking with each other. Leslie McGurk, she's astrology. Professional astrologer with more than 30 years of experience speaking on the evolution of astrology and its place in history. Featured speaker at the astrology conferences and guest in multiple TV shows and magazines. And she is on the April 1st, 2025 Immersive Indonesia, Singapore to Australia for 14 nights. That would be a cool cruise to go on. We've got another photographer, Bob Christ. He's April 15th next year. There's another guy coming on with him as well. Award-winning freelance photographer and filmmaker whose work has taken him to all 7 continents. As a long-time contract photographer for National Geographic, he was named the Travel Photographer of the Year by the Society of American Travel Writers 3 times. Oh, he must have taken some really cool pictures. Peter Haller is also on that cruise, and he is a best-selling author of various novels, including The Dog Stars, The Painter, The River, and The Guide. Contributing editor at the Outside Magazine, Men's Journal, and National Geographic Adventure, and a frequent contributor to Bloomberg Business Week. His surfing memoir, Kook, that's K-O-O-K, won the National Outdoor Book Award. And then finally, on May 14th next year, they've got Luke Yankee, who is marked down as theatre. He's an American writer, playwright, and director, producer of off-Broadway and on-Broadway productions, working with notable celebrities across the country, including from Radio City Hall to the Schubert Theatre. Currently the head of playwriting at CSU Fullerton and the faculty member at Chapman University. How cool would that be to go on some of those cruises with some of those guests that they've got coming on? So if you want more information on those, just reach out to me. We can get that information to you. They have a phenomenal cruise ship. They've got different things that they do. They also, if you have children with you traveling under the age of 18, 17 or young, they travel for free. So yeah, they have triple occupancy cabins on board that ship. So, and the pictures they were showing us of different places that they go were just absolutely gorgeous. So after we finished that, and basically that whole presentation on was the speakers that are coming on to the different cruises, and basically what's a little bit about the cruise line, and then it was mainly the speakers and the presenters that are going to be coming on the cruises. But there's going to be some great ones coming on. Then I went and watched Atlas. Now Atlas is a cruise line. They're very up and coming right now, and their specialty is polar expeditions to both the Arctic and Antarctica. I was really interested in Antarctica, but they are also an all-inclusive cruise line as well. And so I thought, so I wonder what inclusive things that they have. So this is always included, and then they have things that are exclusive to the polar expeditions to the Arctic or the Antarctica. So they have free cultural immersion on every voyage, dining venues with ever-changing menus, unlimited beverages including free wine, spirits, and craft beers, open bars and lounges including 24-hour bar service with special canapes, In-room minibar with your preferences, specialty coffees, teas, and fresh pressed juices. Afternoon and high tea. I'm in. Afternoon and high tea. I'm in for that one. Champagne and gourmet canapes during meet and greet. 24-hour room service, including spirits, wine, and beer. Look. I remember hearing her say how to say this. I'm probably going to. L'Occitane. I think it's L'Occitane. Bath amenities. Prepaid gratuities, use of walking sticks and binoculars, a free reusable water bottle, butler service and expanded room service menus in the suites. So that's just what's always included. If you are doing if you're going to the Arctic or Antarctica, you also get a free private chartered jet service, enrichment lectures and destination briefings, shore landings led by expert field guides, escorted sightseeing safaris by Zodiac. If you are so inclined, you can even do a polar plunge. You get a Atlas Ocean Voyages Parker and vest, which you get to take home with you. Use of knee boots, and these are ones that you get to wear in the Zodiac to help, because they said some of their landings are wet landings, so it helps keep your footwear and stuff dry. And then free private group transfers between the airport and the yacht. Their itinerary was just, yeah. I mean, they were putting pictures on there of their food, and I was like drooling. It was trying to get lunch at the same time while I was listening to this going on. And then they also have experts that come on. Oh yeah. Do you want to hear what's in the rooms? So in the rooms, they have chilled craft cocktail or sparkling wine welcome, in-room minibar stocked daily with your preferences, room service from our always available menu, Nespresso coffee with Kuzma teas, still and sparkling water delivered in reusable glass bottles, terry robes and slippers, sumptuous Egyptian cotton bed linens, and complimentary use of binoculars. That's just what's in every room. They are... This is an intimate yachting expedition. They have less than 200 passengers on board, which works out well because there are some places that you go to that are limited on how many people you can take onto the island, that you can land with at any one time. And so because they have got such a small amount of passengers, they're able to do this. They are, what else can I tell you about them? I'm just trying to see here. So they've got biology and marine biologists on board to help learn more about the whales, the seals, the walruses, and other wildlife that make the waters home, and the importance of the delicate ecosystem. Ornithology, experts who study bird biology and behavior help you identify the various species of seabirds throughout the polar regions. They've got photographers and videographers on board who will teach you expert techniques to capture the perfect footage on your polar expedition. Now that I would find invaluable, because this, going to the Arctic or Antarctica would be like a once in a lifetime trip for some people, and being able to learn how to capture what you were seeing, the scenery and the wildlife and everything else, would be invaluable, because then you've got something you can take home and show people how fabulous it is down there. You've got history, culture, and governance. Experts with master doctorates and law degrees share their knowledge of natural history, local and indigenous communities, and the local of history of polar exploration. Ecology and nature conservation. Scientists and PhDs have worked with environmental research to help you connect with environment and ignite your passion for nature. They have a polar meteorology and climate change. Specialists who study polar weather and atmospheric changes help you understand the importance of these regions and how they affect the world. Mountaineering and hiking experts. The expedition guides with experience in mountaineering and hiking bring you to incredible vantage points as you step foot on remote landings. I mean, yeah, these are like... And they even, in the documentation that you see, they give you a packing list and a guide before you go, so you know what to bring with you. But things like light shirts and pants, non-slip closed-toe shoes, waterproof jacket and windbreaker for enjoying the water's edge, which is the bow of the ship, where you get the best views of everything as you're going through stuff. Comfortable winter climate attire for evening dining on board. They are not, it's casual on board. is what we got told. There's no dress-up codes or anything like that. So it's just all casual, laid back. Tahiti's the same way, all casual, laid back as well when it comes to clothing. So you're not having to, so you don't have those formal dinners and everything. But that was what we had, and they were just absolutely fascinating, talking about the places that you go. Like I said, during this presentation, I'm trying to get lunch and eat because I've just had back-to-back things, and from that one, I was going straight to work, and I had to actually leave the webinar to go to work because, yeah, they went they were going a little past the top of the hour when I had to go to work, so I actually had to leave that one a little early. So I did miss some of the presentation that was done by one of the expedition leaders that they had, who came and was talking about some of the wildlife that you see, some of the different sceneries that you would see. And this guy, they said that this guy had been, I think it was like sailing since he was 2 months old or something. Been sailing since he was 2 months old. So he would be a very interesting person to talk with. But he was talking about some of the flora and the fauna, the wildlife that you would see both on land and in the water. Talking about some of the birds that you would see, some of the culture for the areas that you're going to go to. They talked about Greenland and Iceland as well. So he talked about doing the Arctic Circle and going to the Arctic, and also about going to Antarctica. And I missed the Antarctica, because I was getting something to eat. So, but 2 great presentations today, and I'm going to see if I can get some specialists to come on from those 2 cruise lines to give you guys more detail than I can give you. Let me put it that way, because I'm still learning, because these are 2 cruise lines I haven't really had a lot to do with. And because one of them is actually in the South Pacific, which is one of my specialties, I definitely want to bring them on, because that could be one that we could use for a widower's cruise. We could use it for before the Dirt Nap Adventures. We could do that. And then the other one does Antarctica, which kind of falls in the South Pacific if you think about it. So we'd have to bring them on as well. I know there's a cruise that you can, I don't know of any cruise line that does, I know out of New Zealand, you can get a cruise that does the sub-Antarctic islands. And that's the islands that are between New Zealand and Antarctica. And my parents got to go on that cruise one time and had a fabulous time. And they were going like in the primo time to go, which is around December, January, February. And they were going in primo time to go, and they said it was rough sailing. But they had a blast. They had a blast on that. And I saw some of their photographs from it as well. And they got told, whatever you take on the island, you have to take back with you. So I went to one of the websites that does a lot of travels, different types of travel amenities, and made them up a care package to take with them that had like bags if you needed to do number 2s. They had things for number 1s, personal wipes, a lot of personal hygiene stuff, that because there was no facilities on land, and they said you had to take everything with you, I made them up this little care package. And my mum said to me, she said, we love the care package, but, and I'm like, what's the but? She says, it arrived at the most inappropriate time. And I'm like, when did it arrive? She says, your nephews were here. And at the time, I think, I'm trying to remember how old the nephews were. I think they were a lot younger than they are now. I mean, the oldest one's 31. He'll be 31 this year. 31 or 32 this year. This was probably about 20 years ago. And so, of course, they're like, oh, what's that, Grandma? Grandma, what's that used for? Oh, Grandma, that looks really cool. What's that for? And she's taking stuff out of the box. But then my dad said that my aunt and uncle, my mum's younger sister, came to stay with them. And they were going through the box as well. And my mum and my aunt were apparently coming up with alternative uses for all the stuff that was in the boxes. So, but they were very gratefully received and very well thought of. And in those boxes too, I had some of, these little expandable towelette things. So I had these there as well. So those were in there too. But they went and they had a fabulous time on that one. So we're going to be looking at doing something with these companies. Not sure exactly when, because it will depend. So if you are interested, if you'd like to come sailing with us to like Tahiti, the Society Islands in that area, maybe even the Cook Islands and stuff, you want to come with us on the South Pacific cruises there with some of those speakers that we mentioned, send me a private message and we'll get you all hooked up. If you want to go explore the polar region, one of the polar regions, just let us know and we can get you hooked up with that as well. So with that, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm going to go have some dinner now. Yeah, it's really late. I'm going to go have some dinner now. And so I hope you'll have a super fantastic sparkling evening. And we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hey, konera.